Welcome to the marketing track session, everyone. I'm excited to introduce our esteemed speaker, Amitha Amarasinghe. Amitha is an established digital marketing professional with over 20 years of experience in e-marketing, e-commerce, social media marketing, and performance marketing. He has held leadership roles at prominent agencies like Neo at Ogilvy, Sri Lanka, where he was a pioneer in digital marketing innovations. Amitha is passionate about sharing his knowledge and has been a visiting lecturer and lead trainer for young marketing students. He is also a member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing. Today, Amitha will be discussing about generative AI for marketing problem solving. I'm sure his insights will be invaluable as we navigate the rapidly evolving digital marketing landscape. So please join me in welcoming Amitha Amarasinghe. Over to you, Amitha.
Thank you very much, Abhinaya, for the introduction, and thank you very much, Bistec team, for inviting me. Right, so Abhinaya did an introduction about myself. You already know my name is Amitha Amarasinghe, and I'm currently the co-founder, CEO of the Asia Pacific. Am I audible? Can I give me a signal? Because I see a signal that...
Yes, Amitha, you're audible.
Right. Okay. Thank you. So I'm currently the CEO and co-founder of the Asia Pacific Institute of Digital Marketing. And before that, I was in the digital advertising field for nearly 10 years. Overall, it's about 20 years of digital marketing work for me. Right. So without further ado, let me share my screen and get started with the session today. We are here to learn about generative AI for marketing problem solving. So let me put my slides on full screen. Right. Now, I'm sure most of you are already aware about generative AI and you have already played around with some tools like ChatGPT, which is quite popular among many people. So I'm not going to spend too much of time explaining about these tools or the basics, fundamentals of AI and generative AI, but I'll go through this agenda real quick. Like, we'll first start by refreshing the basics. I know that most of you are from a marketing background and you already have tried some of these generative AI tools, large language models, but let's quickly refresh the basics so that we can base our discussion on marketing problem solving on these basics. And then I'll go into introduce you to large language models that also I believe you are already knowledgeable to a certain extent about that, but I'll just quickly refresh your knowledge about large language models and how it works. Then I will talk a bit about prompt engineering, understanding what is a prompt and how prompt engineering works in the world of generative AI and large language models. And finally, the meat of today's presentation is using large language models for marketing problem solving. So I'll do quick demonstrations, two quick demonstrations about how you can use some of these generative AI tools in marketing problem solving. So we'll start with refreshing the basic. The first basic question that I would like to ask from you is, what is AI? When I ask this question, what is AI? I know that for most people, the first picture comes to your mind might come from a science fiction movie like The Matrix, for example. I'm a huge fan of Matrix movie franchise. And the moment someone says AI, Agent Smith is the one that I can actually picture. Well, now in the Hollywood movies and in popular culture, usually AI is being portrayed as evil. In most Hollywood movies that would have seen so far, they always try to portray AI as an evil thing. They are trying to invade the humanity, and they are planning to do mass scale evil to the humans. That's how most of these movie plots are written. Now, that's one of the main reasons why there is so much of skepticism about AI among people. The moment people say AI, okay, so AI is going to take over my job, AI is going to take over humanity, and there's a lot of bad and negative feelings and negative sentiments being created among the whole concept of AI. But in reality, AI is not bad, at least for now. It's not bad. Now, AI technically, you can define AI as AI is the field of computer science focused on creating machines that can perform tasks requiring human-like intelligence. Now, this is the first thing that you need to understand. Now, here, what AI is trying to replicate is human-like intelligence. Now, mind you that intelligence and being sentinel or being emotional is completely two different things. You can be intelligent but not sentient. That is, sentient means the basic human feelings. Now, the 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 school of artificial intelligence, the scholars of artificial intelligence who are doing researches, what they try to replicate is human intelligence, not necessarily human emotions and being sentient. Now, that's why I'm always telling people, don't be afraid of AI. It's not going to wipe out the humanity from the surface of Earth. No, at least not for the next 50 years. But you can't predict the future. And now, what AI is trying to do is AI is trying to, do tasks like, learning, decision making, problem solving, and pattern recognition, and sometimes understanding natural language. Now, the last one is really important. So far, up until very recently, artificial intelligence, it was purely logic based. So it's mostly like Boolean expressions based AI systems that we had. But in recent years, with the advancement of natural language processing (NLP), now the engineers has managed to create interfaces, human interfaces with AI, where we can talk with AI in natural language. Just like you're talking to someone else in English, you can talk to an AI in English and respond to you back in English. Now, I don't have to go any further for an example. ChatGPT is the best example. Now, you talk to ChatGPT in English. Oh, it talks in many other languages as well, but most of us, we use a ChatGPT in English, and it talks back to you in English. When I say talk back, yes, sometimes it may be just text-based conversations, but if you're using the ChatGPT on mobile, you have the voice-based conversations as well. So this is the advancement that AI has brought in to us, like with this natural language processing (NLP). Now, let's next look at, like, really quickly, what is generative AI. And I'm touching upon this just as, refreshing the basics. And what is generative AI? The reason is that today's topic is using generative AI for marketing problem solving. Generative AI is defined as, it's a typical it's a type of artificial intelligence that creates new content such as images, music, speeches, or text. This is called generative because it generates new examples or samples rather than just understanding, classifying, or reacting to inputs, which is what many other types of AIs do. Now, in many other types of AI, as explained here, what they do is using logical and rational reactions. The AI can, direct you to somewhere, or AI can sort information, order information, or classify information. That's what most of the old school AIs were doing. But with generative AI, now you can generate new content, new text, new video, new music. This is why this is called generative AI. Now, when we talk about generative AI, the technology behind most of these generative AI tools are known as large language models. Now, this is if you're coming from a tech background, if you're coming from an engineering background, you know what is a large language model already. But for the purpose of marketers who are here, if you are not from a tech background, I'll quickly introduce you what is a large language model. Now, a large language models are some revolutionary developments in the field of artificial intelligence. Large language models, so in short, we call them as LLMs, are an advanced form of artificial intelligence algorithm designed to comprehend, summarize, generate, and predict new content. That's why this is part of generative AI. These models utilize deep learning techniques and leverage massive data sets to achieve their capabilities. So, what these large language models or LLMs are essentially doing is they are being trained. Now, there is part of training. They are being trained on large volumes of text based content, image based content, and audio based content. And with that training given to the model, so they build what they call as the language model. And then when a user is prompting this language model with what we call as a prompt, it can generate new content like answering questions or sentiment analysis, information extraction. So they can perform these content generation, content creation task based on the learning that it has gained during the training stage. So in a more simple term, like if you look at how a large language model works, is it has initially it has the input. This could be like questions, topics, and the large language model is being trained on a humongous amount of data, and based on those data on which the model is being trained on, the model can respond back to you with an output. The output will be again text, image, or sometimes it could be video as well. Sora, from OpenAI, they developed this tool called Sora, which generates video, real life like videos based on a user prompt. Now, this is a very fundamental introduction about large language models. Usually I take about easily about half an hour to talk about large language models alone in a training session. But since we have a very strict timeline of 45 minutes for the session, I'm not going to talk much more about large language models. So I just wanted to refresh your already known knowledge about that. Now, if when I say large language models, for someone, if it's that's too technical, so these are some of the examples. You already know ChatGPT, I'm sure. I mean, like 100% of the audience here would have tried a ChatGPT, and of course Google's Gemini, and some of you would have already tried Copilot, and then there are two other tools that I want you to try out. That's Claude from Anthropic and Mistral LayChat. So these are the 5 large language models that I recommend everybody to take a look at. Of course, you already know ChatGPT, but take time evaluating other 4 models as well. Now, there again, let me just tell you something about like in most of the sessions that I conduct, people ask me the question, what's the best out of these large language model tools? Whether ChatGPT is better than Copilot or Gemini is better than the others? People always ask these questions. My answer to them is, well, you cannot categorically say that one of these tools is better in all aspects compared to other tools. There are occasions where ChatGPT performs better than other tools, and then there are other occasions where other tools are doing better. Now, for example, personally, this is my personal experience and how I personally use it. If it is something to do with creative writing, if it is about, like, writing a blog post or a social media caption or something, I always go to Claude. I have realized that Claude is a better creative writer than any of the other tools. And if it is an analytical task that I am doing, like what we are going to do here today, problem solving, marketing problem solving, or doing a research or something, then I go to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT performs far better than other tools on analytical commands, analytical prompts. And I'm a digital marketer, therefore I work with a lot of Google products, Google marketing products like Google Ads, Google Analytics, and Google Search Console, and all these other places. Every time when I need support about these Google marketing products, I go to Gemini, because see, Gemini is originally being trained on Google's own data, and later, of course, it actually trained on other data as well. Now, through Gemini, you can actually use Gemini as a a guided tutor to learn Google Ads, for example. From very beginning, you can learn Google Ads only using Gemini, or Google Analytics, how to do e-commerce integration on Google Analytics. You can learn that simply by using Gemini. That's a very effective tool for that. So likewise, each of these tools are having its pluses and minuses. So you need to pick which is the best tool for your required purpose. All right, so moving on. Now, this is something that I want you to keep in your mind or this is something that I want you to remember when we go to the main topic today, that is problem solving, marketing problem solving with a LLM or a generative AI tool. Follow me very closely about this, right? Now, I always take this analogy of a large language model, or ChatGPT. So we'll call it ChatGPT. ChatGPT is like a competent intern at your office. Now, this competent intern, she's competent, well educated. She just finished her bachelor's, and she has read a lot of good books. She has a lot of knowledge about the industry that you are in. But there's one thing that this new intern is lacking, that is, she lacks experience. Any intern at the first day at work, they lack experience. But as a good boss, as a good manager, if you guide this new intern properly, she will perform really well because she has all the knowledge and skills. You only need to guide this new person properly. She will learn from the work she does, and she will use that experience in future work as well. This is how we evolve in our careers. And at the same time, as a boss, as a supervisor, if you don't guide her properly, she will underperform, and you will be disappointed in her work produce. Now, always, all the time, when I hear senior people complain about their subordinates, part of the blame must go to the superior as well, because you haven't guided and trained. Same goes to ChatGPT. If you hear someone complaining about ChatGPT, it's not that good. It's not worth the buzz. Everybody talks about ChatGPT, but I tried ChatGPT for some marketing, content writing, or problem solving thing, but the outputs were not good. Now, if someone is saying that, they are similar to those bosses or superiors who are complaining about the work of their interns, because part of the blame is on you because you haven't guided the intern. In this case, you haven't guided ChatGPT properly. Your guidance is the prompt that makes or breaks the intern's capabilities to work. All right, so that's a quick refresher of what you already know about AI and generative AI. Now let's get into prompt engineering. Let's see what is prompt engineering, and then we'll go into the hands-on practical activity. In very simple English, a prompt in the context of generative AI is a call to action for an AI tool to produce a specific output. In other words, a prompt is a statement or a question that initiates or guides an AI model to generate a specific response or an output. Now, this acts as a starting point for the AI algorithms, and especially in large language models, A prompt will help to process and respond to human inputs better. Anything that you type will be the first guiding signal for the AI to respond to you. Therefore, writing proper writing proper prompts is an essential skill for any business professional, not only for marketers. Anyone who plans to use ChatGPT or any other tool, writing proper effective prompts is going to be a very important skill. Now, how to write a proper prompt? Now, these are some points that you need to keep in mind when you are writing a good prompt. The structure of a good prompt. We are going to use these characteristics in the practical example of using these prompts for problem solving. Now, first one is context. You need to give the brief description about the context where you are asking your question. For example, you have to set the persona. You are a marketing manager for a new product launch in FMCG sector. You are setting the context, and then you have to properly clearly define the task the large language model is supposed to do. For example, the task here is write a short paragraph that describes the target audience for the product and the key marketing messages that will resonate with them. That's the task that you are briefing to the AI model. And then you have to tell the model the constraints. Now, the constraints will limit the prompt. They can include specific requirements, length, or complexity limits, or other relevant limitations. For example, the response should be no more than 150 words and should focus on the most important marketing messages. So you are setting constraints for the large language model to work within when you are writing the prompt. Finally, you can give some extra information. This is additional context or output format that can be specified in this section. For example, the product is a washing liquid for washing machines targeted at urban to semi-urban household. Now, this is an actual prompt I wrote for a brand in one of the workshops I conducted for the brand owners. So you see, if you write a proper structured prompt, you will get real guided results for your problem solving. Right, so we are now coming to the meat of the presentation, that is how to use large language model prompts for marketing problem solving. Now, as marketers, part of your job is to solve problems, right? Now, you're solving problems for your bosses, your customers. You're supposed to solve problems, right? Now, let me take an opening like this. Now, to use a large language model like ChatGPT to do problem solving, you need to replicate, listen very carefully, you need to replicate or you need to mimic the behaviors of a best performing employee at your workplace or at any workplace. Now, we earlier learned that ChatGPT is like an intern. Now you have to train this intern to behave as one of the best performing employees in a workplace. Now, what are the common characteristics of a best performing employee in a workplace? Number one, they have widespread of knowledge about their field of work. Now, ChatGPT already has that. And they seek clarity before starting on a work brief. That is where most people goes wrong. Now, you simply enter something to ChatGPT and you expect ChatGPT to do magic. It won't happen like that. Let ChatGPT to ask for clarity from you. Just like a good employee, high performing employee is asking for clarity from their bosses before they start the job. And when they get that clarity, their performance is better. Same way, let ChatGPT also get that clarity. And number three, they ask critical questions to improve their work. Now, best performing employees of any organization, when it comes to their work, after they complete a certain goal, certain task, they ask for feedback. How did I do? Did I do good enough? How can I improve my work? These are some of the characteristics. Now, what if we train ChatGPT also to act as the same way? So you can get your ChatGPT a good brainstorming buddy to do your problem solving activities. Right. Now, where marketers fail in marketing problem solving in most occasions is they start solving the problem without crystallizing the problem. You follow me? Right? Most of the time in marketing departments, marketers fail to come up with the best solution for the problems that they have because they jump into action without crystallizing the problem properly. You have to first clarify, you have to first refine the problem before you can actually start solving the problem. Now, I'm going to show you a prompt that I developed for this particular purpose of refining your marketing problem properly, right? So let's get to the live demonstration. I hope you can now see my ChatGPT screen. And let me show something else. Let me open. These prompts are being shared with you. You will get it from the Bistec team. So these documents are being already shared. Yeah, right. Right. I hope you can see my Word document. Let me. Second. Right. So this is the prompt that I'm going to run. So problem refinement prompt. As I said earlier, when we are solving problem, first thing we have to do is refining the problem properly. Now for this, I have already written this prompt, but you don't have to stick to my prompt. You can always write your own prompt with the same objective, right? So let me read the prompt. I want you to become my marketing consultant. Your goal is to help me refining my marketing problem statement. You will follow the following process. Now I'm writing a very detailed prompt. We call this as a mega prompt because it's very lengthy, right? Your first response will be to ask me what is the marketing problem I have. I will provide my marketing problem as my answer, but we will need to clarify and refine it through continual iteration by going through the next steps. Based on my input, you will generate three sections. A. Refined marketing problem statement. Provide your rewritten problem statement. It should be clear, concise, and easily understood by you. B. Suggestions. Provide suggestions on what details to include in the problem statement to further improve it. C. Questions. Ask any relevant questions pertaining to what additional information is needed from me to improve your problem statement. We will continue this iterative process together with me providing additional information to you and you refining the problem statement in the refined marketing problem statement section until it's complete. Now, you see, this is a reiterative process that I am going to prompt to ChatGPT. I'm sure like majority of you haven't tried a lengthy prompt like this. Most of you might be using ChatGPT the same way you are using Google. Very short keyword searches, right? Very short questions. But the power of ChatGPT or power of any other LLMs comes when you properly structure your prompt like this and try it. Now, before we run this prompt, there is a conditioning to be done. We have to first condition the chat conversation. We have to give the context to ChatGPT. For that, introduce your company and the brand to the LLM using a pre-prepared summary document. Now you have to have this document ready with you. I have it with me for the demonstration for Apidem, my company. And then introduce the target audience personas of your brand to the same chat. And then we go to this. Okay, so let me first introduce Apidum to ChatGPT. So I have another document. I'm going to copy it from the other document. So you won't be see that on your screen, but I'm copying it and I will be pasting it here very soon. Right. So I copied it. Now I come to ChatGPT and I'm typing, read the following and remember it. You will use this information in future prompts by me, right? So I'm just giving the information. So this is basically about Tapidum, right? So about Tapidum, the Asia Pacific Institute of Digital Marketing stands out, and it's just explaining. Basically, now I was actually answering the questions. The second question the ChatGPT is asking is, have there been any significant changes to the marketing strategy, program content, or competitive landscape that might explain the decline? So basically, I'm going to answer nothing, nothing such noticed. And number 3 question is, are there any patterns in feedback from potential students who didn't enroll, such as concern about pricing, program structure, or career opportunities? So I'm going to say there had been few feedback. The content was too heavy for them, but that was only a few. Right. Okay. So for these 3 questions, I'm answering and I'm just entering. Right. So you see, now ChatGPT is giving me the refined question. Now ChatGPT is giving me the refined question. Apidum is facing a consistent shortfall of enrollments in the data science mastery program. And with each of these last 3 batches attracting only 15. So it actually basically refined my, for the interest of time, I'm not going to read all these things. So now you see, next it'll again ask you another 3 questions. Now you can go out and answer these 3 questions as well, and then it will go for another round of refining the whole prompt. So let me copy this problem statement. So I'm going to copy this refined problem statement and I'm going to put it in a note here. I'm going to keep it with me in a notepad. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you another problem. Now we have refined the problem. Now let's solve the problem. To solve the problem, I have another Word document. So this document also you'll be receiving this as handouts. Now this is the idea generation prompt. Now in the idea generation prompt, again, you have to condition the chat conversation, introducing your company and all that, and then you are going to run this problem solving prompt. So let me read this really quickly. I want you to become my marketing consultant. You and I are going to brainstorm solutions for a marketing problem I have, the marketing problem we earlier defined. Your goal is to help me craft the best possible answers to a specific problem I have with my marketing planning process. You will follow the following steps. Your first response will be to ask me what is the specific problem I need a solution to. After I answer this question, you will ask me for a sketch of the current solution that I have in my mind. After I give you the tentative solution I have in my mind, you will initiate the following recurring steps. Our objective is to analyze the problem and the best solution through continual iteration by going through these next steps. And the steps are a critical evaluation of the alternative solution or improvements I suggested. You do not have to take my suggestions as it is. You can reject my suggestions if you consider them to be illogical and not the ideal solution for the problem. You are allowed to disagree to my suggested solution, and suggest me a better optimal solution. B, your improved solution. Provide an improved solution for the marketing problem. C, questions. Ask any relevant questions about what additional information is needed from me to further improve your solution. Ask me to enter any improvements or an alternative solution to the problem. And you will act as a highly critical consultant, playing the devil's advocate sometimes and coming up with groundbreaking new ideas at the same time. We will continue this iterative process together with me providing additional information to you and you updating the suggested solution in the suggested solution section until it's completed. Right. Now I'm going to copy this prompt and I'm going to show a shortcut on ChatGPT as well. So I'm going to copy this. I've copied this and let me minimize the Word document. So this is a shortcut basically on ChatGPT. You can try this out. Now, rather than opening a new chat and doing the conditioning, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. Okay, I've saved the customer persona, right? Okay, so up to this point, I have conditioned the chat. Now what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to edit this prompt. Right, when I edit this prompt, all the responses below this prompt will be forgotten, wiped out from ChatGPT's memory. So you can do that. So I'm going to copy paste the new prompt here instead of the old prompt. I'm going to put the problem solving prompt. Earlier it was the problem refinement prompt. Now I'm running the problem solving prompt. Right, let's see what's happening. Right. Great. Let's start. What is the specific marketing problem you need a solution to? Now, for this, I'm going to go back to the notepad that I have, and I'm going to copy paste the refined problem statement. Can you remember the last activity we did? We refined the problem statement that we have. So this is the refined problem statement. Apidum facing consistent shortfall in enrollments for the data science mastery program, with each of the last 3 batches attracting only 15 students, half of the target of 30 enrollments. While no significant changes in marketing strategy or competition have been observed, there have been occasional concerns about the program's content being too heavy for some potential students. Now I'm going to share this with ChatGPT. And let's see what ChatGPT says. Got it. Now, could you provide a sketch of the current solution or approach that you have in mind to address this shortfall in enrollments for the data science mastery program? This could include any marketing strategies or adjustments you are considering, right? So I'm going to type now you see, you can just type these things as if you are talking to your marketing consultant, right? So I'm going to say, I feel we are not targeting our marketing campaigns to the right audiences. Since Apidum is more focused on marketing, our campaigns are reaching to marketers only, but there are other professionals who can benefit from data science. I believe the solution could be targeting more appropriate professional categories for this program. Right. So I just typed it. So let's feed this to ChatGPT and see. Right. Now ChatGPT is critically evaluating my suggestion. So ChatGPT is saying you're absolutely right that data science appeals to a broad range of professionals, not just marketers. However, just shifting the targeting to other professionals may not be sufficient. The content perception of being too heavy needs to be addressed as well. So it's critically evaluating, and then it gives me an improved solution segmentation. Begin by identifying industries and professions where data science skills are highly valuable but underdeveloped. Target audiences could include finance professionals, business analysts, IT managers, engineers, so on and so forth. And then message refinement. Emphasize how the program is tailored to various skills levels. If the too heavy concern is common, you may want to consider introducing content that appeals to beginner or emphasize flexibility likewise. And then industry partnerships, another solution. Content showcase, develop webinars, free introductory workshops, so on and so forth. And then again, it asks me questions how I can help them answering these questions, how coming up with a better solution, right? Right. Have you conducted any customer research to identify professions outside of marketing that could benefit from this program? So I'm going to answer for the first question. I'm going to put just no. 2. Are there any testimonials or feedback from previous students that could help address the too heavy perception in your marketing campaigns? Yes, we have few positive testimonials. 3. How flexible is the current program structure? Could adjustments be made to accommodate different learning levels, beginner, intermediate? This can be considered. 4. What marketing channels are you currently using, and how have these been performing in terms of attracting non-marketers? We are using Google search, display ads, and meta ads mainly. So I'm just going to leave the answers at that and then upload it. And again, now it goes to another loop, again critically evaluating about my feedback. And then it gives me an improved solution. Research-based targeting, segment-specific testimonials, flexibility and modularity in programs, channel expansion, webinars and free introductory sessions. And again, it asks me for questions. Now, I believe you got the point, right? You got the point. Now, these reiterative, recurring type of mega prompts can help you solve some of these marketing problems. So within the time restrictions that we have, so I could only cover these few examples. But if you want more uh, insights about these, I can actually casually ask you or promote you to just visit apidem.asia website, and you'll be able to find a detailed program on writing prompts and using generative AI for marketing problem solving and all that. So I hope you have learned some valuable tips here today for your marketing problem solving using ChatGPT or any other large language model. So you can contact me, reach out to me at amitha@apidem.asia. So anytime I'm happy to help you, or you can connect to me with on LinkedIn. You can just go to LinkedIn and type this URL, and you'll be able to reach out to me through LinkedIn messaging. So with that, I'm winding up the presentation. I know we don't have time for questions, but Abhinaya, I'm handing it over for you to you.
Thank you so much, Amitha. Your session and presentation were very informative and useful. We learned a great deal from you, and we truly appreciate you taking the time to share your insights with us. Thank you once again for your contribution to our Hearts Academy Day. As we have come to the end of our Hearts Academy Day, I want to extend my sincere gratitude to all our speakers. Your expertise and insights were very invaluable for the audience, and thank you very much for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. I also want to thank our amazing team and everyone who helped to organize this event and to make it a success. And finally, thank you all for taking your time to join with us today and learn something new. Your participation is what makes events like this possible. Before I sign off, I have a quick announcement. We have sent a feedback form link to both your emails and this meeting chat. I kindly request you all to take a few minutes and fill it out and let us know how we did today. Once this meeting ends, you will no longer have access to the chat to retrieve the link. So please be sure to check your email and access the feedback form and give us a reply. Your feedback is essential for us to improve our future events, and we hope to conduct more events like this in the future. And I apologize for all the technical glitches that has caused today. Until then, this is Abhi officially signing off. Thank you and cheers.